All right, standing here today with London Schneider. I'm sorry, I almost called you London Fletcher. I don't know where that came from. It came out of there. And Austin Dobbs both play for Buckets. Both guys had a pretty handed win last night. But I want to take just a few minutes this week in our breakdown interview and kind of looking ahead to next week's big game. Talk to us a little bit about last night's game, how you guys felt it went, and then let's break down next week's game here in just a minute. So I'll start with you, Austin. How did things go last night? What were your thoughts? What did you think of the game?
We didn't get off to the start that we normally are accustomed to. OMG came out. They hit their first 4 shots. We didn't play with the defensive intensity we usually do. We didn't attack the basket, and we found ourselves down by 9 at one point, and then we came back and tied it up by halftime. And then, we just huddled up together and we said that, we need to play like we're used to playing and attack the basket and play defense. And, came out. London had 2 layups and an and one. Hollis got hot. Warren did his thing. I stepped up my defensive intensity, created some turnovers, attacked the basket, and, we ended up winning by 9. So, it was good to see us with some adversity in the first half and come together, and then we played like we're capable of. We can beat anybody. So,
okay, great. And London, probably one of the most athletic guys in our league. Got a picture last night. I don't know if it's an older picture or was it last night. Did you actually get another dunk last night?
I didn't get another dunk last night. I should have. There's been a couple of games this season where I should have had a dunk in, but didn't get one in.
Bobby's looking for the pictures. They look really good on uhlife.com. Gets you a lot of recognition nationally. The national tournament's going to be here again this year.
Yep.
I'm pushing hard for a slam dunk contest. I got to get you out there. You think you could compete in that?
I think I could. Yeah, I'm getting older. I'm only 28, or 27. Like, I'm making myself older than I am, but I can still get up. I don't get as high as I used to in the games, but I can still definitely get up there.
All right, sounds good. So tell me a little bit. How did you feel the game went last night?
Started off very slow. It usually takes me a while to get going. The rest of the team usually picks up the slack in the first half. I couldn't make a bucket to save my life in the first half. We were slacking on defense. But like Austin said, we kicked up the defensive intensity, pressured the ball, got turnovers, got easy layups. Once the buckets started falling, everything became easier. Second half came, and we just played our normal game and pulled out a W as usual.
Now, I was looking at some of the stats, and I noticed that Austin over here had 2 assists last night. That's 4 times his average. What do you think of that?
Austin, you know what? Austin played great last night. He probably had the best game he's played with us all for the last 2 seasons last night. He pressured the ball. He attacked the rim, hit open shots. He really stepped it up for us last night.
I'll be honest with you, I appreciate that, but I was most impressed with the 2 assists because it is such a big big get up for him. But on a serious note, let's talk about next week's game. Next week, you guys are playing against 1 Hour Energy. Mm-hmm. Now, they're 2-2, but breaking down their games, they've played against a couple of teams that might have been on the bottom half of the league and handled them the way a good team should. They won in blowout fashion. Last night, they won by 71 points, I believe it was, 122-51. And then 122 points on the board in a 44-minute running clock game is a lot of points. Regardless of who you're playing against. But then their other 2 losses have been against Houdini, one of the better, most competitive teams we have. They lost by 2. Playing against Flight Vegas, they lost by 7. Again, another one of their teams they lost by JYD by 7. I'm sorry, they beat. Let me back that up. Flight Vegas turned around and just beat JYD on top of that. So they're a legit team as well. So thinking about that, I look at the athleticism of your athleticism, and I think of Chad Briggs playing on the other side. I look at, from your standpoint, Austin, your outside-inside game really kind of reversed of a lot of people. And I think of Khalil does the same thing. And from a matchup standpoint, what's it going to take for you, for example, we'll start with you again, in a matchup where you're probably going to have to guard Khalil next week and have to hold him down, scoring less than what you're going to score in order to give your chance an edge on that side?
Yeah, well, I've seen Khalil play for the last couple seasons. The guy can shoot the ball. He gets hot real quick. He gets his shot off very fast. He has no problem taking 15, 20 threes a game. And if he's got a hand in his face, he's always determined to get to the rim, even if he has to go by 2 people. The guy's very crafty. He knows how to get to the line and create his own shot. So he's the type of guy where you have to just jam him up real tight, and you have to make him, give the ball up, and then you have to jam him when he comes off screens and just get frustrated. But I think, matchup-wise, I haven't watched him play a lot of defense, so, I'm not exactly sure how I want to attack him. I usually like to get involved in the offense and set screens for other people, and then that'll get myself open. So I'm going to make him have to move around a lot, chase me a lot, have to help on screens and hedging and things like that. Plus, we're going to try to make sure we get the ball to Warren. Anytime we get the ball to Warren, we get him going, that people have to double him, and so the backside's going to be open for threes and swinging the ball and having 2 shooters on one side like we normally do. So we're just going to make him wear him out on the defensive end, so that way he doesn't have enough energy on the offense to do what he normally does, which is drop about 30. So.
Yeah, I was looking at last season. I was keeping stats from him. I think at one point he went 15 for 17 from behind the arc.
Yeah. Again, if someone doesn't want to play defense on him, he can get hot and he can shoot all night and he'll put up 50 without even thinking about it. So you got to play defense against him.
Sure. So here, being in Vegas, I'm going to ask you for a little bit of gambling line here. So the Austin Dobbs, Khalil Zalil, plus or minus. I'm going to put the over/under at 50. Where do you taking, the over or the under?
I think over/under. I'm going to take the under because I'm not going to let him score 25. So.
Fair enough. Now, you happen to play probably a little more athletic defense than normal because Chad, he's going to drive. We know it. He's going to go to the basket. He's quick. He's athletic. He's not going to very, very many outside shots, but he's going to go to the basket. So what do you think about that matchup, and how do you think that's going to play your way?
Chad's a great player. We actually played together in the national tournament over the summer. So, we're accustomed to each other's games. We kind of have a similar game. Honestly, with Chad and Flight Vegas, with Chad and 1 Hour Energy, we're the defending champs. We're the defending champs for a reason. People have to beat us to, kind of have a standpoint of where they are in the league. We don't plan on losing. We haven't lost yet, so that's kind of where it is. We're the best team in the league, I feel. Our record proves it. Until someone beats us and kind of tells us otherwise, that's where it stands.
All right. Well, every time I do one of these interviews, I got to ask for just a little bit of smack talk on this. And so gave him the over/under question. I got to ask you right here. Let's do the plus or minus, given yourself. So we are looking at buckets plus 7 or 8 or 10, or we got buckets minus. So we what are you calling the game at?
We're definitely the favorite, so we're going to be minus. I haven't really watched 1 Hour Energy play too much. Of course, they're a good team.
Dude, they just dropped 122 points.
True. They're a very good team, but we're not worried. I see that we beat I say the line's going to be around 7, like you said.
Minus 7. So we got consensus over here. We've got buckets minus 7.
Yeah.
Well, you guys heard it here first. Right here, buckets minus 7 next week.
Buckets.